Coach, your group was able to flip the script and come away with a close victory tonight. What pleased you most about your group's effort?
Our fans. We talked about being at home. You talk about their support. You talk about how loud this building was, the energy that we had to have. There were so many times in this game that they propelled us with the energy when we went on that 16, I think, 3 run. And I think those are the things that we talked about, what we need. But our guys being able to stay resilient when we got down 11, didn't rattle us at halftime, being down 10. You know, the end of play 3, that could have been a momentum shift, but our guys regrouped, rallied back, and continued to fight.
We've talked about this team's fight all season long, their resilience all season long. What needed to be said or what had to be said in those moments when Boston kept fighting back, kept coming back to pull this one out and take the lead?
Nothing. This is a group that continues to pull for one another, no matter who's on the floor, no matter who's on the bench. These guys continue to talk to one another about what we needed to do, and it came with the defensive end of the floor. Can we sit down and string a couple stops together? That's what we were talking about in the huddle. Can we string stops together to get out and run and get some easy baskets?
What did you see tonight that wasn't showing in Game 1 and Game 2?
I mean, there's a combination of things. I think we did a much better job on the defensive glass. I think we held them to 8 offensive rebounds, where in the other games they had 13, for 20 points and 17 points and for second chance points. So our ability to keep them off the glass was very big for us tonight.
Jamahl, what was the key to such a strong performance in the third quarter tonight?
Our guys just came out and understood. We didn't have to watch anything. You didn't have to think about a lot of adjustments in that moment. It was about digging in and understanding where we were and how we needed to play. And then we came out, moved the basketball, attacked the rim, sat down and got stops, forced them into some tough twos, but we were able to turn them over as well. I think that was a big key in this game.
What stood out to you about Franz Wagner's performance tonight?
A lot. I mean, his resilience, I think there was a time one of our coaches came to me and said, Franz has run 16-minute straights, and that's okay. That's the toughness that he had. Paolo did the same thing the other night. That's what these guys are willing and wanting to do in order to make sure that we come away out with the victory.
Where was Franz at his most valuable? Was it on the defensive end, guarding Tatum and Brown, or was it on the offensive end?
I think you got to make a combination of both. I think you can't just leave it to one side of it. His ability to make plays, get downhill, baskets when we needed them, and then being able to sit down and guard. You have to give him both sides of the basketball is where he, showed up big.
He wasn't happy with his Game 7 performance last spring. How did he rebound from that?
One thing I will say that this is one game that we took care of at home. We did what we were supposed to do by taking care of home. I'm not going to go into what happened last year in these moments because right now it's just one game at home, and that's what we did, and we've got to make sure we get the job done on Sunday. You took care of tonight, protected your home for one game. We got to make sure that we can enjoy it for a moment, break down the film tomorrow, and be ready to go on Sunday.
Paolo and Franz have been your top 2 scorers throughout this series again tonight, but you get more help from other players down the list and then on the bench. Just what did you like most about the help that other guys were able to step up with?
I think it showed up in more ways than scoring. I know Wendell had 10, Anthony Black came in, had 9, but it was more, you got to give Gary Harris so much credit for the way in which he came in and changed the game. His defensive presence, his activity on the basketball, not giving in the switches, making it tough on those guys to bring the ball up the floor. Those are the things that don't stand out in the box score, whether you score or don't. Kenny was, again, tremendous defensively, getting after the ball, getting into the ball, fighting over screens. These guys take on that defensive challenge, and that's what we're going to continue to need.
First of all, congratulations on the win tonight. There was some uncertainty on the flip side with JT's wrist injury, not knowing how long he would be out for. But for him to come back and have a 36-point performance like that, just what could you even say about Jason Tatum and just the caliber of player that he is?
There's a reason he's an all-star. There's a reason why he's an all-NBA guy. He's up for those big moments. He's tough. He's resilient. He's going to find his way to get through and make big plays, and that's what he did. He came out and shouldered a bunch of the load, and I think his ability to do that is credit to him.
Coach, you decided to mix it up and throw a little full court press at them at the beginning. Just how much of that is just wanting to mix things up when you're at home and backs against the wall 2-0?
Well, I think it's just being able to, we talked about before the game, being able to turn them over. That's been something that we've been very good at, and we hadn't done it for the first couple games. And I think the change in mentality there had to be that. make them have to work harder to get the basketball and not get into their sets as easy as they needed to with 19, 18 on the clock. Can they run their sets when it's like 14 and 15 on the clock? That's very important for us.
Well, kind of on that point sorry, I'm back here. About the full court defense, you've mentioned in the past that that's something that AB and Gary just kind of pick up and decide to do on their own. For AB to have that kind of poise in that moment, especially in the first quarter when he kind of came in and helped spark the energy in that first quarter, what does that say about him and his growth in this, just his second year, but really his first true playoff series?
I think you're seeing constant growth from him. Consistent growth, the little things in the moment. You know, he's getting to the basket, getting hit in the head, not getting the call. He stayed the course, turned right back around, picked up full court, got a steal, and that just says a lot for him to not let the things in these moments rattle him and continue to play the right style of basketball.
Hey, Coach, over here.
How you doing?
Doing pretty good. So for you guys to be able to guard one-on-one tonight and not give up that many threes, you held them to 27 attempts tonight. How important was that just for your defense being able to stay home on the shooters?
It's big. I mean, they thrive on threes. They thrive on finding mismatches, and they found a couple. But, again, our guys are going to sit down and guard, and that's what we've challenged them to. And if you can sit down and guard your yard, you've done your job. And now there's times if there's a blow-by, we need to be there for help. But at the end of the day, you got to be able to sit down and guard your man and then be able to know that the help will come if you're beat.
Jamahl, what kind of lift did Anthony Black give you defensively in the first half?
I thought he was great. I really do. I thought that when he and Gary came in the game, they changed it. The first pickup to denial, almost getting a 5-second count, getting the steal, his intensity, his length. I think he just does a heck of a job guarding it. He almost had the other steal, but then the challenge came and they called the foul on it. But again, this young man has done a great job of continuing to guard, continuing to step into his role, and whatever's asked of him.
Back here, Jamahl. Up, camera.
No, how are you doing?
We know the numbers and what was at stake tonight and, you know, what typically happens if you go down 0-3, but what can a win do? I mean, how much life does that give you in this series?
You understand what you're capable of doing, which this group already knows what we can do, and we took care of home for one game. And now you got to do it again on Sunday. But our guys understand what it takes, how hard we have to play, the defensive focus we have to have, the offensive focus and attention to detail we have to have, and what we have to hold them to. But it gives you an opportunity to see a win knowing that you have to play a certain style of basketball.
Coach, I mean, we've seen Franz and Paolo do this throughout the season, but how impressive has their leadership been throughout this series?
They've been great. Their communication, their toughness, their resilience, their ability to just stay the course no matter what's happening in the game, and them playing off of one another. Getting into the huddles, it's big when one guy can say, no, get him the ball. No, you get him the ball. And that's just the care they have for one another, but also wanting to do the right thing no matter what it takes. If one guy's got it going, you let them have it and then let them make plays off of each other.
Thank you, Coach Mosley.
Thank you all. Appreciate it. What went down?